The ruler of the dark world, Ente Isla, Satan, is getting ready for the epic battle with the hero, in what would be their final battle to decide the future of this world. Satan loses, however, and is pushed back, causing him to retreat and open up a portal to another world, promising that he'll return one day. He and his most trusted advisor, Asiel, go through the portal. The portal takes them to an alleyway in modern-day Japan. With the two of them shocked by their new human forms, Asiel and Lord Satan cause enough commotion to find themselves into the police station. There, Satan is able to use his magic to mind control the officers to learn a few things about Japan, the world lacking magic. And because of this, Satan and Asiel have to find a way to draw their power, with them having very little magic left. So they decide to take a new identity and play by Japan's rules. Satan goes by Sadao Maou, and Asiel goes as Ashia Shiro. Mao works as a part-time, hard-working employee of McDonald's, while Ashia works at home doing laundry, as well as reading books for doing research at the local library. Mainly trying to learn if magic exists in this country. Life is going as normal as it could be, until a girl with long red hair gets caught in the rain. Mao offers her an umbrella, with her being a little bit hesitant to accept it, but eventually doing so. At work, Mao is trying to break the district record for selling black pepper fries. Ashia is struggling to find information in the library. Mao finds himself in trouble at work, trying to decide whether to use his magic power on the malfunctioning friar. His boss unknowingly stops him by asking him if he's okay. Her name is Mayumi Kisaki. Nevertheless, in this small exchange, he still impresses the teen co-worker, Chiho Sasaki, with his people skills, as well as the other employees through his dedication. Kisaki calls him to the office, wanting to promote him to a level A employee. Mao is visibly pumped, riding his bike home, but at the same crossing walk, he sees the same scarlet-haired girl again, this time with her looking a bit meaner, with her explaining she was watching him all day at work, thinking he was normal, until she saw him try to cast a spell, causing him to ask her who she is. She proclaims him to be Satan, asking why is Satan working part-time at McDonald's, further going into detail. After the battle, Hero Emilia's party questions what they should do, with the latter seeing that this is a victory and they've won, wanting to go back and celebrate, while Emilia, the hero, doesn't hesitate to follow him to whatever world was waiting them on the other side, vowing, saying she's gonna one day kill Satan. Back in the present day, Emilia is prepared to kill Satan, but instead of using her sacred sword, she pulls out a pocket knife, with Mao being more confused than anything, wondering why she's using a pocket knife that you can get from the 100-yen store, rather than her trusted blade, and the two get into a scuffle that eventually gets broken up by the local metropolitan police, where to them it appears like a lover's fight, and the officer saying, Emilia can't go around trying to kill people with a knife, alluding to Emilia being dumped, with the idea of being lovers flustering Emilia, causing her to protest their relationship. On the way home, Emi is still threatening Mao, letting him know she burned his umbrella and to watch his back. The next day at work, it shows Emi working at a phone customer service office, with her friend being in the next cubicle, Rika Suzuki, with her just being a normal human. And the two of them talk about lunch plans, showing her daily routine, stocking up on food, toilet paper, and watching TV. Angered by her lifestyle, she goes to try to attack Satan, but when she gets there, Mao reveals he didn't feel the need to tell Ashia, seeing that she's been beaten by a rusty old door. When she gets inside the house, she starts to berate them on how they're living, expressing that she's doing much better all by herself, then explaining she's the only one here and the whereabouts of her comrades. The priest Oppo was the one who was supposed to be assisting her, but he ended up being too slow for the journey and couldn't continue. After that, Mao lets off his plan for conquering this world, starting out as a part-time fast food employee, thinking he could eventually accumulate enough wealth and social status from his position if he gets full-time. Seeing the current situation as pathetic, Emi just goes home. A few days later, Emi starts to skip out on hanging out with Rika to start stalking on Sadao Maou, and Ashia learns that they're not up to anything nefarious at all. Angered by feeling she's just been wasting her time by stalking two guys, she decides to meet up with Sadao after work. With Chiho seeing the exchange with noticing Emi's beauty, becoming increasingly jealous, and berating Sadao with questions. Before leaving to go home, she starts to talk about the earthquake and learns that Sadao has a male roommate. When Emi and Sadao meet up, Emi just comes out and asks him just to stay here and conquer this world, seeing that he's the perfect employee and a good person here. But Mao is determined to go back to his plans of conquering Ente Isla. Then the two of them are attacked by an unknown assailant, shooting them. They make their escape and realize it must have been a common enemy, both of them, seeming that they didn't have a clear target. But she finds herself showing up again. Because she lost her wallet and her apartment is a good distance away, she tearfully stays with them for the night, much to Ashia's shock and dismay. The next day they find a bowl of cucumbers with the key to the house on the floor. Seeing that this is was Emi's way of trying to thank them. On the local news, there's been reports of muggings and shootings, with the only clue being a bike that was found, so the police take it into custody, with the boys on the news feed. Emi then gets a call from work from an anonymous figure about Ente Isla, and then another call from the police station asking to pick up her bike. Last night, Chiho asked Satan out on a date, and wanted to talk about the earthquake, with her visibly happy with her mom noticing this. Emi is forced to sign off on Mao's bike, so he can get it back. Emi gets incredibly angry as she signed the documents, and having to vouch for his identity, looking like a crazy person in the process. Ashia takes Mao shopping so he can look more presentable on his date with Chiho, with Ashia feeling the need to follow the two of them, which gets the attention of Emi, who happens to see him suspiciously looking at something. She's in utter shock, noticing that Mao's on a date with a cute girl. Seeing how Chiho also has new clothes for the occasion, Emi follows them by going inside the cafe. Emi and Ashia start eavesdropping on the conversation. Chiho starts to say that she's been hearing some type of foreign language and makes remarks about the earthquake, then talking about how Mao has been so nice to her, and Mao being the only person that can understand her problem, and it seems like she's about to confess, but she's stopped by Emi, with Chiho recognizing her, misunderstanding by thinking that she's an ex-girlfriend of his, and the two girls get very loud inside the cafe, having a very heated argument. This being until a large earthquake leaves them all in shambles. Chiho wakes up surrounded by rubble, with Emi asking her if she's okay. Chiho then asks her, "Where's Mao?" Emi replies with, "He'll be fine," saying he's much harder to kill than this. The two girls make up, with Emi still warning her about getting close to Mao, but Chiho protesting this and saying she's not going to stop going near Mao. Emi thinks it's time for them to get to work, so she puts Chiho to sleep with a sleeping spell. Afterwards, Mao shows up thanking her for covering for him, but the two of them wanted to go find the cause of this. We then see a flashback of Emi's journey to become the hero, with her having a modest village life with her father, Noor Justina, but soon after, we then see the church coming to get Emi, with her being named the hero. And soon after that, their village was attacked by Lucifer's army, with their father being presumably killed. And back to the present day, with the three of them meeting up, Chiho gets recognized by her father's co-worker, being a police officer, Mao remembering the first time he used his magic here, being on her father, which explains the connection. After the quake, Emi and Sadao get some of their magic back from the event. The next day, Emi shows up at Sadao's apartment, and falls down a flight of stairs. Ashia leaves to go buy some stuff for her injuries. Emi breaks down crying, from the thought of his kindness and what's been happening towards her, wondering why he couldn't have shown her homeland this type of kindness, and why he killed her father. With tears running down her eyes, and her gritting her teeth, she states the reason for wanting to kill him so badly, with Mao replying he never really had a chance to meet humans, so he couldn't really understand their feelings. Ashia and Chiho walk in, with Chiho misunderstanding the situation. The young girl runs out crying from heartbreak, and just as soon as it starts, the landlady, Miki, comes in to ask that they run after Chiho, with her also mentioning that she'll be doing renovations on the apartment. Chiho runs into Lucifer, however, on her way home. Lucifer using her envy and despair of the Dark Lord and the hero to surpass Satan in magical power. He then causes an explosion and goes to the sky. Emi, Ashia, and Mao all get there in time to see Lucifer and Alba, with Emi being shocked, being betrayed by a member of the church, having a very tearful exchange, wondering why. Alba, smiling in delight, is beginning to go into his master plan, but Mao, taking his moment away from him, explains his plan, saying it was so easy to read out that a movie or TV show could have wrote it better. Doing this cheers up Emi a bit. Alba wanting to kill the hero after she outserved her usefulness, telling Lucifer he can also go back to heaven if he helped him out, with Ashia getting mad that Sadao has been wasting their money on movies, which leads to a more loud argument, which is then interrupted by Lucifer, shooting a death beam at Ashia. Ashia, still not taking the moment very seriously, has a final request, that being if he's gonna watch movies, to do it on the 1st of the month, stating that it's half off. The rest of them had to flee. Emi then asked, how is he able to be so powerful? With Mao explaining he's drawing his magical power from his victims, who are fearful of him, saying demons are fueled by negative emotions, the shootings, the muggings. This was all done by those two. Satan then teleports them to Kyo, Sasazuki Station, being the most populated area. Satan then passes out. Lucifer, seeing that he's eliminated Mao, says he doesn't need Shio anymore, tossing the young girl several stories high. Emi is barely able to catch her, skidding her knees very badly. In the panic, he also destroys a major bridge, causing an immense amount of fear to crowd the people. Because of this, Mao could get a high concentration of fear, regaining his magical power, and able to actually lift the bridge up, saving all the people, but tells Emi to hurry up and defeat Olba and Lucifer. Chiyo wakes up able to see Sadao in his real form, and also able to see the true origin of their relationship. Emi transforms into her own hero form, and Mao puts in a barrier, so she doesn't have to worry about having casualties. Ashia goes to help out Emi, and eventually Satan is able to get into the battle, with him ending Lucifer with a multi-layered metro area massive punch. And Morelli and Albert arrive at the last minute to talk to Emmy. Mao uses his remaining power to fix everything the way it was, with everyone staying in the current world, with Emmy's friends being very shocked by these actions, and shocked to see that she trusts him now. So this is where we're going to leave off for today, with this anime being broken down into multiple parts. Now if you like what you saw here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll be uploading more daily videos just like this one. So I'll see you next time.